Hi students, it's Miss Vernon. We're back with lesson 9.3c. Today we are going to be looking at how do you graph when given the factored form of a quadratic equation, and how do you find the vertex when given the factored form. So today we're going to be utilizing those tools we learned yesterday with the zero product property, and we're just going to go ahead and get started. So we are exploring using the equation y equals x minus 3 times x plus 7. In this case, there are two factors given. Minus 3 is a factor and x plus 7 is a factor. To begin, we are going to find the roots and sketch the graph of this equation. In order to accurately sketch the graph of this equation, we will need to partake in several different steps. To begin, the first step is going to be to find the roots of our given equation. So in order to find the roots, we need to use the zero product property. The zero product property says that you take each factor, so in this case, x minus 3 equals 0, setting it equal to 0, and x plus 7 equals 0. Once you set each factor equal to 0, you can balance by doing the opposite. So adding 3 to both sides, x equals 3. And on the other side, in balancing, we would have to subtract 7 from both sides. And x equals negative 7. Now that we've found them, we want to graph them. In order to graph these, I'm just going to go ahead and plot a point at 3, 0 and at negative 7, 0. Right, so those are our zeros. We've successfully done step 1. Step 2, it says find the y-intercept and graph it. In order to find the y-intercept, we need to set x equal to 0. In doing that here, we would go ahead and replace all the x's with 0. So we'd have 0 minus 3 times 0 plus 7. And so we would have negative 3 times 7, which gives us negative 21. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plot the point 0, negative 21 on my graph. Notice that the y-axis is going by 5, so I have negative 5, 10, 15, 20. So negative 21 will be right here. Step 3, although this is a very nice graph, we really don't know where the minimum or the vertex of this graph will be. So in order to find the vertex, this is the new part of the lesson, we need to follow the steps that are showing up here. The vertex is an h, k value. And the vertex always happens in the middle of the two roots. In order to find the middle of the two roots, we need to average them. So in this particular case, to find the h value of my vertex, I would need to take 3 plus negative 7 and divide it by 2. Well, 3 plus negative 7 is negative 4. And negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. We now know that the h value or x coordinate of our vertex is negative 2. We don't know what the y value is. The next thing we do is we find out what is its partner in crime, or the k value in h, k. And we do this by plugging that value we just found into our original equation. So in this case, I would have y equals negative 2 minus 3 times negative 2 plus 7. Again, recall our original equation highlighted in green was x minus 3 times x plus 7. In place of the x, I put what we have for our x coordinate, and we are going to solve this. When I do this, I get negative 5 times positive 5, which results in negative 25. So the y-coordinate or k value of our vertex becomes negative 25. Let's go ahead to our graph and plot this value. we'll go -2 over and down 25. We've now successfully found all the different parts, and we have enough information to sketch this graph. This graph will look something like this. Notice that it is a U-shaped graph. I apologize, my line got a little bit squiggly, but you can see the parabola that has been graphed. This is how we graph this equation. Now, if you are working with a graphing calculator, we can also verify this graph by typing our equation into the y equals equation. So the y equals is here, and I can type in this exactly as I see it. So I would have x minus 3 times x plus 7. And I'm going to create a window similar to what we have there. Our x minimums, or our x-axis, our domain, is going from -9 to 5 on a scale of 1. And our y-axis is going from -30 to, we'll go to 10 on a scale of 5. All right, graphing it, we should see a similar graph to what we have plotted here. I hope this tutorial helps you to better understand how to graph an equation when it is in factored form, as well as how to find the vertex of an equation when given the factored form. Check back for more tutorials in the future.